what's up guys, Ezra94 back with another action figure review. Today we're looking at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Star Wars Rebels Ezra Bridger. This is a re-release of Ezra Bridger. This was actually once a popular figure, very hard to find, and it was actually way up there in price until now that it's dropped down because of this re-release. It's a repack, it's the same figure, just a different package. This is the new box art design for Black Series. We have the front here, we got an angled side with the art. The other side is just a regular, and then the back side shows an image of the character with a read-up on the back. With this introduction to the crew of the Ghost, a small band of rebels fighting back against the Empire, Ezra comes to believe that he can help change the galaxy for the better. Be sure to hit the links down below in the description where you guys can pre-order yourself a set of this figure or any of the other figures. So there's only two types of people that are buying this figure right now. One is the person that missed out on the initial release and did not want to pay the crazy prices of this figure. And two would be the completionist that has the previous release and just wants to get it just to have a complete collection. I fall into the category of the one that missed the initial release. So I don't have the original Ezra figure to compare it to this one. I'm sure it is not different at all. Maybe some different shades or tones or I don't know of paint, but overall there's nothing drastically different. So this is the Ezra Bridger from the beginning of the series when he had long hair, and he didn't really last too long with this. I think he was just one season with the long hair, then he cut it short. So I'm interested to see if they're gonna make that version of Ezra. I was actually surprised when they re-released all of the Rebels figures completely the same and they didn't change their looks, seeing that they all had a change of look except for maybe Hera and Chopper, of course, but even Chopper went through some different paint jobs during the show, so they could have made the Empire version of Chopper or something different. Anyways, you get Ezra Bridger just like this. Doesn't come with any extra heads or hands, but he does come with his lightsaber here. And we all know that he built his own lightsaber, as all Jedis do, and he built it like this. So this is a lightsaber, and I don't think this separates though. Or maybe it does. Yes, it does. It's just very tight. So that comes off because that makes sense. His lightsaber hilt's actually a blaster, so it's a 2-in-1. He can use it as a blaster. It actually looks like a staple gun. So take the saber out, have just the hilt, or have him look like he's about to blast some Empire scum, some stormtroopers. So there it is. I like it because they painted it different colors, got black, silver, and blue. And then he comes with one final piece of accessory, and that's the helmet here. He's a collector of helmets, and this is one of them that he collected. So if we get the figure, it slides right over his head perfectly, and now we have him with the helmet, which is pretty cool. So we'll take a closer look at Ezra, and here is the helmet. It's nice. It's all white plastic with red painted and black painted on the front there. Looks very good. Here's the back. We'll slide it off. Now we can see his hair. Got that hint of blue, purplish blue hair. There's the face, and then to the torso. So very nice overall. As for his articulation, it's going to be the same as the previous release, of course, but his head goes up about that far. The hair will stop it, and he goes down not too far. Head tilt, very slight head tilt, swivel left and right. His neck's actually a different piece. It's kind of articulated, but it doesn't really make a huge difference, so I don't know if you want to count that. But it is a separate piece. Arms go forward and back, in and out about that far. No bicep swivel. Black Series tends to do single jointed elbows, but this one's pretty deep, so it bends just as much as a double jointed elbow would. Swivel at the wrist. Oh, I'm sorry, swivel at the elbow and swivel at the wrist. We have a side hinge for that wrist, and this one has a regular hinge right there. Diaphragm joint at the torso, forward and back, not too much though. And there's the swivel at that diaphragm joint. There is no waist swivel. The legs will kick forward. Not too crazy. Kind of wish that had more range. Let's see if the other leg is... No. Not the best kicking forward there. Not a lot of range there. In and out, looks like the leg might pop off. In and out's about that far. Going back down, He sort of has drop down legs, which I'm curious, was this part of the original release? Maybe it is. I didn't know. It's nothing crazy like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe, but it's very subtle. You have double jointed knees, ankle hinge at the foot, and there's a rocker at the foot. And as you can see, he can hold his hilt, his lightsaber, perfectly fine. If you don't want him holding the lightsaber, then you can have him holster the hilt on its side right there. There's a little hook, and there's a little loophole on the lightsaber hilt. You just hang it there. I actually prefer this design more because usually they have a peg on the hilt and a peg hole on the figure, and you always see that big old peg sticking out the saber when you have him holding it in his hands, and then you always see that big old peg hole on his waist. So this design's a lot better in my opinion. Alright, for some size comparisons here, we're of course going to get the crew together. So we have Sabine Wren, and then we're going to put in a dusty version of Kanan. He's been on the shelf for quite some time, and his lightsaber is kind of warped. Looks like Count Dooku's saber, but you see how much taller he is. Let's get him all in frame. Alright, so there you go. Now they're all in frame, and we can see how Ezra is shortest, of course. I'm going to replace Sabine real quick with Hera Syndulla, and she also stands pretty tall too. All of these are of course the original releases of these characters. These are all getting repacked and re-released in this new packaging style. And lastly, I'll replace Kanan with the newly released, let's move the rock, the newly released Zebrelios. So there we have 90% of the Ghost crew. I am missing Chopper. I never got that original release of Chopper. By the time I had him in my pile of loot at Big Bad Toy Store, they announced the new one coming up, so I canceled it and I ordered the new one instead. I figured why not, just in case it ended up being a better version. So I'll wait for Chopper to complete my set, but it's kind of crazy how it took so long to complete this team. Such a popular series and team, and we just recently completed it with Zeb Aurelios. So pretty crazy, but I love it. This looks so good. I love seeing all these together, and pretty excited to get my Chopper now. I do have Ahsoka Tano from Rebels, so I guess I'll put her here in replace of Chopper for now. She is not part of the Ghost crew, but she did appear in Star Wars Rebels, and this is the Rebels version of Ahsoka. Alright guys, and that's going to do it for my review of the Ezra Bridger Star Wars The Black Series re-release figure by Hasbro. Quick and easy review here, nothing too crazy to go over. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, have a great day. Bye.